halos hataw, hiya parang lindol, buzzer beater ni Idol. Halos di makahinga sa talbog ng bola, ang puso ay nagtatala. Sino ang magiging bida? Solid ang laban, malupit ang galawan, solid ang punch, malakas ang hiyawan, ang action ay walang hinto. Sa solid na laro, solid ang laban, malupit ang galawan, solid ang punch.
Good afternoon, Philippines, and welcome to the 50th season of the PBA. Chris Newsom, Chris Banquero, some of the familiar faces that you're going to be seeing here once again as we usher in the Philippine Cup. On the other side, Joshua Munzon. Some of the new veterans for the new squad as we take a look at the Meralco Bolts up against the Titan Ultra Giant Risers right here, right now in this, what we're calling is the Rise to Power. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome here to the Dinara Center in Antipolo. Anthony Sta here, together with Coach Eric Reyes. And Coach, new season, everybody starts from scratch, but everybody looking for that elusive title.
Well, it really brings a lot of excitement for me, Anthony, especially coming into this arena today. You see a lot of these new guys coming in. Of course, you have Titan Risers, playing in today's game against the Meralco Bolts. So there's a lot of excitement, most especially in this new season.
Well, before anything else, let's start to introduce to you the teams. Of course, the Meralco Bolts, they were champions 2 conferences ago, and they'd like nothing else than to bag another Philippine Cup championship.
It seems that they were, they had some building in the off-season, most especially when you look at a lot of these guys who have played for Meralco before. It really speaks well of the experience and, of course, the teamwork. Nice to have Alain Maliksi back after quite some time that he was not available. And then you have the rookie Ladis Lepalam who definitely would shore up that front line, Anthony, which is already deadly for me with Brandon Bates and having Raymond Almazan there.
Well, the face of this franchise has always been, for the past couple of years, Chris Newsom. And actually, Chris was actually just signed to a new 3-year pact. So congratulations to him. And at the same time, he knows that at least his future is secure, not just in terms of off the court, but also with his stint here with Meralco.
Well, he's well deserved. I mean, you look at the performance of Chris Newsom with the, when he played for Gilas. He's a big guard, considering that, in college back then he was playing the big man's position, and he was able to adapt to a new position and exploit a lot of mismatches. Of course, you have a lot of guys there who can play multiple positions and create mismatches too. And that's where the experience and the excitement comes in for the Meralco Bolts, having all those guys in their lineup.
Well, everything really starts and ends with that gentleman right there. And so the squad will take their cue from him, obviously.
Oh, definitely. He's the established leader in this team. Of course, you have Banquero also, and even Alain Maliksi. But then, Chris has really been consistent all throughout. I really admire the kind of performance, the kind of winning attitude, the kind of clutch performances that he has been delivering for the Meralco Bolts. You look at that averages of 16.6 points, rebounds and assists, and look at the way he also plays great defense with 1.6 steals on the average.
And so he is a two-way player. He is the leader of this franchise. And as they say, wherever he goes, the rest of the team will follow. But again, he's got a lot of help, and you need a lot of help here in the All-Filipino, because this is where, as they say, the cream really rises to the top end. He's got a lot of big help coming in, talking about guys like Chris Banquero.
Yes, I mean, nowadays you cannot just rely on one guy. Of course, Chris Newsom has really been, the established leader of this team. But then when you have a guy like Chris Banquero, playing for your ball club, it adds up to the leadership, it adds up to the experience of what the guy can do. And then most especially in the pro level, when you talk about crunch time, hardly do you find a lot of these guys that can deliver, during crunch times. Some of them may choke, but not Banquero, not Newsom, because they're tried and tested players and that they have proven that they can play high-level basketball all throughout their career.
That's true, because these two gentlemen want the ball in their hands when it comes to winning time. And look at his numbers, almost 17 points a ball game. From 4-point country, he's shooting 40% which is an exceptional clip.
Yes, when you look at you know what he can do in the 4-point field goal or 4-point shot line, you know it's really a long shot that is really, and the percentages are expected to be low. But then you know he's still solid even if he takes a few shots. And then you also have another guy who definitely can be one of those guys who they can count on, in most especially establishing mismatches on the post.
Oh, definitely. But, you know, he was primarily known as somebody, as you said, who likes to operate in the shaded area. But look at these numbers. From three-point country, he's shooting almost 50%.
I mean, I really admire a lot of these guys. You know, in college, they were post players, they were power forwards. They play the 4 position. In the PBA, they come up here. They're only 6'2", 6'3". Alanganin, you know, when you talk about that kind of height. But then, when you are able to play a different position, you know, and the way that he is able to live up to his expectation to really perform at a high level and create mismatches, you know, he will definitely be one of those guys who can deliver.
And you need a man in the middle. Of course, they've got a lot of other taller players there, but Cliff Hodge really sets the tone for their defense, especially down low.
Yes, I mean, when you look at these averages, we've talked about a lot of those guys who would be in double figures. Cliff only averages close to 10 points a game, and yet he provides that kind of energy, that kind of, you know, intensity, most especially under the basket.
And that is just one side of the coin. Let's talk about the other team, the team making their debut here in the 50th season. These are the Titan Ultra Giant Risers. As we take a look at their lineup, a lot of familiar faces, but also some new ones as well.
Well, the nice part about the Titan Ultra Giant Risers is they have primarily the same kind of team that ended in the previous Philippine Cup. A lot of these guys, you know, or at least majority of these guys have already been together. So that talks about the kind of teamwork that they would have. You have new guys coming in, of course, a new coach in Johnny Del Cardel. You look at the guys coming in here, Anthony, there's a lot of experience too. And they were able to work, they were working a lot in the offseason primarily to get a lot of those big guys. You have Jay Ombohan there, can play the 3 and even the 4 position.
Oh, definitely. But the new face of this franchise is going to be Joshua Munzon. He's going to have to carry this franchise as far as they can possibly go. And as you can see, this guy plays both ends of the floor, but definitely also a terrific scorer.
Yes, he's really one of those big-time scorers, Anthony. The beauty about Joshua Munzon, and he not only provides the scoring, he provides the energy, the leadership. Wow, look at that. Close to 20 points in every game. He has 5.6 rebounds and close to 5 assists. But this is what amazes me, because being the most improved player and being part of the all-defensive team, not only does he average close to 20 points, he also provides, you know, the energy and the intensity coming off the defensive end.
Well, you talked about intensity. One of the most intense players that we have here in the PBA, and definitely the most intense player here for Titan Ultra has got to be the veteran Calvin Abueva.
Oh yes, I mean definitely when you talk about physicality, when you talk about you know, guys who can really get into your head, of course the beast, you know, to team up with the guys like Joshua Munzon will definitely be a formidable duo. You look at the Titan Ultra Giant Risers, they want to establish themselves, they want to create noise early here in the league, and they picked up the right player in Calvin Abueva. And that's something that Calvin will definitely provide. He's one of those experienced players, one of those energy players that can still provide these kinds of numbers.
Look at those numbers, 14 points, 8 rebounds, and at the same time, as you said, maybe we're not showing the number of blocks, but for somebody who plays inside, almost 2 steals a ball game is a lot.
Yes, I mean, this is going to even be adding up to the averages of steals for the team of Titan Giant Ultra Risers. And the nice part about this, they have been #1 in steals in the previous conference. You add up guys like Abueva and the rest of the guys coming in, that's going to really shore up that kind of defensive intensity that Coach John will definitely be enjoying.
When you talk about defense, Cade Florence comes to mind, and Cade has really been able to show everybody that he does deserve to be here in the PBA. He's guarding actually the big imports of opposing teams. That was in the previous 2 conferences, but right now in the All-Filipino, he might be able to really show his true strength.
Oh yes, I mean, Cade Flores is a bruiser. You add up Abueva also, so you can just imagine what kind of support Kate Flores would have now under the basket. Close to 10 points also. Solid field goal numbers. A guy who plays more inside. And of course, those 7 rebounds really speaks well of the kind of leadership inside the shaded area.
What about Chris Kuhn? This youngster out of Ateneo. One of the rookies that we're going to be having here in the 50th season. Wants to be able to show that he's here to stay.
Yes, I mean, 4th overall pick, you know, and of course, in the rookie draft, he's 6'5", 24 years old, so much youth in him, so much energy, and yet that 6'5" frame would really be a monster when you talk about a guy who can play the backcourt position also and take shots from the outside.
And that has set the stage here for our very first match here in Antipolo City. We've got Meralco up against Titan Ultra. We'll send it now to the venue announcer for the starting 5.
Fans, we are live inside the Inares Center in Antipolo City. And this is the Philippine Cup of the PBA 50. Our first game for today features the Meralco Bolts versus the Titan Ultra Giant Risers. Let us now meet the starters first for the Meralco Bolts. Point guard from Santa Maria, Isabela, number 6, Chris Banquero. Shooting guard from Valenzuela City, number 71, CJ Cancino. Small forward from Quezon City, number 19, Bong Quinto. Power forward from Cavite City, number 7, Cliff Hodge. And at center from Pasig City, number 33, Brenton Bates. Coaching the Bolts is Luigi Trillo. And it's now time to meet the starters for the Titan Ultra Giant Racers. Point guard from Valencia City, Bukidnon, number 11, Aljon Melisio. Shooting guard from Bacolor, Pampanga, number 24, Joshua Monzon. Small forward from Balibago, Angeles City, Pampanga, number 8, Calvin Abueva. Power forward from Davao City, number 18, Gio Ambohot. And at center from Lalo, Cagayan, number 9, Mario Barasi Jr. Coaching the Giant Risers is John Carder. Game officials.
Rise to power, our first game here this Wednesday afternoon. We got our referees for today. Referee Peter Balao, referee Janine Nicandro, referee Erwin Traballo, and referee Carlo Vergara. As we take a look at our starters, Banquero, Cancino, Bates, Hodge, and Quinto up against Melesio, Munzon, Barasi, Abueva, and Ambohot. And we're underway.
Anthony, that was just the first play coming off the tip-off, and you see Calvin Abueva jumping out of the stands just to save that ball.
And he hit it over off Cliff Hodge. That wasn't to the head. Remember, that's one of the new rules that we're going to be talking about all throughout the conference. You actually will get a flagrant if you try to save it and it's thrown to the head. That one, he was very quickly throwing it to the body. No Chris Newsom here in the starting 5 for Coach Luigi Trillo. Cancino goes inside and scores.
You know, when CJ Cancino came in, you know, you kind of noticed that he did beef up a bit. You know, in the previous conference, I would really see CJ coming in. He's more of a very lean kind of a guard. But look at the way he has bulked up on the shoulders. You know, that's going to really help him out, most especially in the physicality of the game.
On the outside, Ambohot will come up short. Melesio quick to it. Another possession for their squad. But then a violation will be called. But I think Jay Ambohot will be getting all the opportunities right now, which he never got because he was playing behind some other big men on conversion.
Yes, I mean, that's always the case when you just end up in the team where there's a lot of guys who almost play the same position. And that's where the advantage is, and that's what a lot of the players coming into the league should learn. You have to be able to play different positions, so you really have to work on the total, you know, all-around game that you can do in every game.
That's a great setup job there by Cancino. And the gentleman shooting almost 50% from three starts off
We were just,
one out of
that's
one.
just on cue. We were just talking about that skill that he has.
And credit also to a lot of these players. During the offseason, they work on their game to be able to make sure that they're able to come up with something different every single season.
You know, sometimes I don't even know if some of these guys even get some rest. Maybe they just take a few days off and then they continuously work.
7-0 blast here for the Meralco Bolts. And a timeout will be called here by Titan Ultra.
Solid ang laban, malupit ang galawan. Solid ang pas, malakas ang hiyawan. Ang action ay walang hinto. Sa solid na laro. 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 Palaban mga manlalaro. Sa solid na laro. Napaka-solid na laro. Solid ang laban, malupit ang galawan. Solid ang fans, malakas ang hiyawan. Ang action ay walang hinto. Sa solid na laro. Solid ang laban, malupit ang galawan. Solid ang fans, malakas ang hiyawan. Ang action ay walang hinto. Sa solid na laro. Sa solid na laro.
CJ Cancino getting off to a very good start already with 4 points and an assist over to the corner for Bong Quinto as we take a look at his numbers.
Yeah, solid numbers here for CJ. And at the same time, when you look at the 37% field goal shooting, that's kind of solid for CJ because he's been consistent all throughout. You know, he's getting a lot of rebounds and, you know, you need more guys to really make that rotation much deeper in any situation.
And once again, it's a 7-0 blast. And still, they've got Chris Newsom on the bench. Can you imagine having somebody like Newsom coming off the bench for your squad already with a hefty advantage?
That's also nice that, you know, coaches would always want to preserve guys like Chris Newsom. They've been playing all throughout in the year because they also have to represent the country.
That's a very good point. Not to mention the fact that they're going to be playing apparently 5 games, talking about Meralco, in the next 11 days. And then after that, they're going to fly abroad to play in the EASL.
Oh yes, yeah, that's going to be really tough, especially. But of course, it's really, I mean, it's an honor for the Bolts, in my opinion, that they would represent the country in a tournament, like a very prestigious tournament like that. So, you know, in the off season, when you read about it, they are definitely really preparing for a tough conference in the EASL.
One and done once again on the offense here for Titan Ultra. Look at the patience here of the Bolts. Running through their offense, looking for the best shot. Cancino with a 3. Back rims that one. And again, Cliff Hodge. Always
A wrestling match.
there, definitely. You got to box him out. Not to mention the fact that Brandon Bates is also in the same mold. So you've got 2 players crashing the boards.
Well, when you look at the way they slide down Brandon Bates coming off that high pick and roll, he was already free there. And yet, the nice part about it, there were 2 options. It's either you hit Bates or you even hit Cancino, which they did.
Bates puts it on the floor. Almost lost it. It's saved. Melesio will push it forward. Munzon, sidestepping move, will get blocked. Bates there as the last line of defense, and a foul's going to be called on Abueva.
A lot of bodies on the floor. You look at the defensive intensity early on. Look at the nice block here by Bates on that swat. You know, there's a lot of, oh, look at that. People just like falling over each other right there. That's how physical the game is, Anthony. And like I said, we saw it already in the opening tip that Calvin really even had to hustle for that loose ball.
First time on the floor this conference for Cliff Hodge. The first of many instances we're going to see.
He's just, you know, he's a perfect match for Calvin, in my opinion, because you see both of them really try to fight for that possession.
An offensive foul is going to be called here on Banquero. Well, he did make contact there. It was clear, right on the chin. Watch that on the replay. Boom.
Melesio really had to sacrifice himself, even a portion of his jaw, you know, to at least try to get into Chris Banquero's head with that hard pressure.
Really loved the intensity of Banquero, but at the same time, he actually did make contact with the face, and so that is an offensive foul. I know you're trying to protect the ball, but it can't be that high.
Yeah, it can't be that high. Well, sometimes it does happen when you're just in your desire to really make sure that it doesn't get stolen.
Then he says, but Melesio's much smaller than me.
That's why the
Inside.
elbow went up quite high.
Exactly. Bates with another rebound. Still nothing on the board here. That's a nice save.
That was actually a good break there because the pass was quite long. And when he saved it, he just had to throw it inbounds.
And again, remember, avoiding the throw to the head.
Yeah, the throw to the head.
Trying to sneak inside. Again, showing their patience. A lot of time still in their shot clock. Now still at 7. Quinto inside. And
So
that's his
smart.
specialty.
I mean, they're just so smart that they know that when they drive to the basket and they get called for, they hear a whistle, they'll throw it up in making an attempt there to be given 2 free throws.
Almost 4 minutes gone here in quarter number 1. And Titan Ultra still to get on the board. Quinto's going to rattle in that first free throw.
Anthony, can you imagine a power forward in there? Coach Luigi Trillo, you know, one of the brain thrusts there of the Meralco team. You know, he has really worked hard on trying to shape this team into a contender, which they are, even in the previous conference. And they continue to continuously build. That's why you see a lot of development in all these players. And like I said, Bong Quinto, former power forward, now taking 3-point shots because Coach Luigi and the rest of the team have been really working on that.
Can they finally get on the board? Let's see if the Beast tries to take matters into his own hands. He loses it though. There was no ball movement that time for Titan Ultra. Out of ball movement once again. Cancino inside, forces it up. No. Steal by Cancino, and again taking their sweet time, and they score once again. It is now 11-0.
Calvin was looking for a foul there. That's why he did not run back on defense.
We get some separation here. Melesio up against Banquero. Finds a seam, puts it up. That's short. That was touched last by CJ.
You're already bracing for a crash here.
I was holding on to the desk. Yes. You don't want that crashing into us.
All these players have really been showing a lot of hustle early on. And that's what really excites me coming into a new conference. Because for a while, we haven't really seen much of all these guys because of the off-season.
So Pascual is going to be called for his very first foul.
But Anthony, I remember Meralco was really in search of a big man for the longest time. And they couldn't really do well because they lack a big guy. So every time they do well, even during the time of Coach Norman Black, they will only do well when there's a big import, or even Alan Durham was there. Fast forward to today, now they have an abundance of big guys in that lineup. They got Almazan, of course. Kyle has really been there, but he's undersized as a big man. Now they have Bates. And of course, Lepalam, when he's, if he's going to be given minutes here.
Well, at the same time, if you look at it, in the last couple of years, Eric, there have been a resurgence of the big men coming in. Maybe not as dominating as Junmar, but still, a lot of them already with height.
Yes, I mean, all these kids are getting bigger and bigger, Anthony. And like I said, although I'm 6'4", I'm short nowadays. I can't even really, I can only play the guard position nowadays.
Times have changed, my friend. Foul's going to be called, stopping the action here. And again, you can just see the Bolts making it really difficult for the boys in white to find any space. Chris Coon is going to be checking in for the very first time as you take a look at the rookie. There are his numbers.
6'5", college from Ateneo. He was born in the U.S.
That was a fishing expedition the entire way.
You see a lot of these 6'5" guys now. They are the ones who can play different positions. And even when he was in Ateneo, I would remember Chris Coon playing the guard position too.
Olar will hit inside. His first point here for Titan Ultra. Actually, Ular is looking for a resurgence in his career because previously, actually, he was always in the starting five. And then when he got traded, all of a sudden, nobody heard from him until today.
Well, that's a hard part, especially when you land in a team where it's kind of completed the big man's position. Olar's height is a bit on the middle. Look at the way Calvin Abueva, despite being undersized, he still plays with a lot of heart and is fearless going to the basket.
Aaron Black in the ball game for the first time together with Chris Newsom. Look at that battle there for the boards. And again, Bates gets them another possession. From 4. Just short there. So from long distance, Bonquinto is 2 out of 3. The Beast will put up a 4. No. Olar battling. And he's going to get his team another possession. Under 5 minutes to be played here in the opening period. Raymar Jose will be checking in.
Coach Luigi shuffling his men now.
Together with Raymond Almazan. Ular with a jumper, yes. He's got 4 points now.
Yes, even in the team, when he was with Blackwater back then, he would always play a very good 4 position because he can draw out his guy because of his perimeter game.
Almazan to the wing, Newsom. Black in the corner. 3 to shoot, will lose it. Jumper from the Beast, yes! That's a 3!
He never quit on his shot. He took a 4-point shot a while ago and he missed. He took another 3 because he was able to get that confidence in.
Look at the Beast. Says, we're coming right back. They've cut the lead down to 3. These are the numbers of Calvin Abueva.
Solid numbers.
Philippine Cup, yes,
oh, yes,
definitely.
Always solid numbers for the Beast. 14 points, 37.2 field goals, those rebounds, close to 8 rebounds in any game, and of course his steals. So that's the kind of energy that he can consistently provide for any team.
And another veteran making his entry onto the floor who had a tremendous preseason. Alain Maliksi is back for the Bolts.
He's definitely going to be adding up a lot of the perimeter game of the Bolts because of his outside shot.
Maliksi will give it up. Jose back out to Chris. That's a great pocket pass. And the foul's going to be called there on Kuhn, his first. Check that. They're going to call it on Munzon. That once imposing 11-point lead is now just down to 3. Here comes another one of the veterans. We call him a veteran even if he's still young. 14 seconds. It's Cade Flores.
Hey, because he's been there already for quite some time. There's a 7-0 run there for Titan Ultra.
Black goes inside, Almazan. The foul's going to be called on Cade Flores.
I like the interior passing there by the Meralco Bolts. They're getting their way, trying to move that ball around and getting those easy baskets. You have all these big men with long reach. All they have to do is just to, just a nice finger roll and they're up already and gone.
Rock and roll completes the 3-point play. The lead is a little bit more comfortable now at 6. Brand new on the outside. Looks inside, Flores.
Wow.
Points.
Wow, I thought that Almazan got Flores already under the basket, and yet Cade was still able to improvise and find a way to get a shot off.
That's going to cut the lead down to 4, approaching the 3-minute mark. Here in quarter number 1. Black finds Almazan, they kick it out. Extra pass, Maliksi.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful passing by the Bolts. So many players were able to touch that basketball in that last play.
You will go to the wing, Munzon. They feel they've got a mismatch here. Flores, there's the double team. Losing it. And Kuhn's going to get his first basket here in the PBA.
It's a nice way to open things up for Chris Kuhn and get that confidence here.
19-15 is our tally. Release pass. Goes to Aaron. Aaron gets away. But they're going to say it's an offensive foul on Black.
Franyu was able to recover and at least for a while there. He put a lot of body there on AB. And thus, Aaron had to ward him off.
Here, a little bit of a weave up high. Kuhn will put up a 4. Just short that time. Black to push. Black inside, converts there.
He was able to shift that ball, and it was just so hard to read where Aaron will be able to still launch and go for that shot.
Inside, Cade Flores gets another one off rock and roll.
That is all power there from Cade. Raymond Almazan was right there, and he was able to cover Cade Flores already. Look at it right here. The nice thing that Cade Flores did was he was able to get past that shoulder using that elbow, and yet getting enough room to be able to get that undergo stab.
Cade Flores on the free throw line. Not able to convert on that three-point play opportunity. Lead still at 4 for the Bolts. Just about 90 seconds remaining here. Melixi's trying to get away. Foul here on Kuhn.
Foul number 6, Chris Kuhn penalty. That's his first foul.
The boys in white are in the penalty. That means free throws here for Elaine.
This is one way for Elaine to be able to hit a couple of baskets and get the flow of his shot, but he misses the first free throw.
Usually a very good free throw shooter.
No, sometimes you just need to get going too, like getting an easy layup, or unless you get like an open look early. Splits his charities there.
Leads back up to 5. Kuhn will bring it down. Ramu will go once again to Flores. Give and go, no. Flores is there for the putback.
That's what Kate Flores has really been doing all throughout his career. You know, he's just one of those guys who just loves to play in the paint. And it's quite evident because you look at his inside points and his high shooting field goal percentage.
Rock and roll. That's gonna roll out. Flores gets into Pesumal. Pesumal.
Good choice.
That's specialty of the house here for Vaughn.
Vaughn has really been a deadly outside shooter, throughout. You know, what's lacking in his career is just to give him more minutes to be able to really play. And I think this will be his opportunity there. And he opened things up with a nice shot from the outside.
Newsom converts on that 3, gets the lead right back. But a while ago, that was the first taste of the lead for Titan in this ballgame.
But they're slugging it out here. I mean, Meralco is really known for their bigs and their tough rebounding, but Titan has really been slugging it out inside.
Guntapay showing us an array of moves, will come up short.
And the end of the first quarter, the score is 25-23.
First 12 minutes in the books. And it's a good one, it's a close one. The Meralco Bolts up by 2, 25-23. Let's take a look at our format here for the Philippine Cup. Single round robin. Top 8 teams after the elims will advance to the quarterfinals. No tiebreaker. Everything is going to be broken by the quotient system. Top 4 teams, twice to beat.
Yes, quite similar to the previous conferences where it's 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7, 3, 6, and 4 and 5. Semis is best of 7 and finals is best of 7. So with the way things are, you know, it really brings a lot of excitement, like early on in this game alone. It's also exciting to see all these rookies, how they perform, Anthony, because these are new talents here.
And also nice to be able to see a lot of new faces in new teams, trying to resurrect their respective careers.
Well, if you get that call, you better be ready. So that's the tough part about being a professional athlete. Maybe there are times that you would fall, but if you just learn how it's all about character, and you just have to be ready when the phone rings, and you just have to be ready to be able to perform again at a very high level.
Racing in for the very first time for the Bolts. He's a lights-out shooter. Misfiring there though. Almazan with an easy putback.
This is going to be a big problem for Titan if they cannot control the boards early.
That's an excellent point. That is where they really will lack in terms of ceiling. Flores to Pesumal. Shot clock at 1.6. Flores out. And ball in. Kun is also out. And he's got the beast coming in. Franyo able to get the shot off, but not even hitting the rim there. Good defense put up here by the Bolts. That's really the calling card of the Bolts. Always has been their defense more than anything else.
Well, they will not be able to consistently make it to the next round if your defense is not good.
Grayson trying to make his move here. Maliksi left wide open for that one. Will misfire. Well, that was good defense. This time, for the Risers. Pesumal is short on that one. Melesio. That's picked up by the Beast. The Beast will come up short on his version of a three. Still a 4-point lead enjoyed by the Bolts. Have to like that ball movement. As Maliksi goes down off that foul there from Pesumal.
Holding foul number 19 for Pesumal. Substitutions.
His personal foul of Pesumal. Pesumal will take his seat. And back in is Joshua Munzon. Bates is also in for the first time after being rested.
Coach Luigi has really been shuffling a lot of his guys. Always maintaining that kind of energy and intensity inside.
Bates will kick it out. Extra pass. Going up strong there. And 2 free throws for Cliff Hodge after getting hammered.
The Titan is going to hammer you when you drive inside, but look at the personnel that they have. So far, we've seen Alain Maliksi only hitting a free throw. He had some open looks too, but he just couldn't hit his mark yet.
Cliff on the line for 2. 2 minutes gone here in the second quarter.
It's the unorthodox form or type of free throw by Cliff.
Which usually works though.
I mean, we've seen Cliff take a lot of those free throws from way back.
That is our poll question. Who will have more steals? A. Chris Newsom or B. Joshua Munzon? That is a very good question.
Well, if I'll rely on stats alone of the previous conference, Munzon is one of those guys who can really get a lot of steals in the game.
I agree, but definitely
Of
Newsom
course,
is no slouch.
because this is a different, it's a brand new game, so things can change, most especially if Newsom can be able to show us more.
Look at a quick move there by Calvin Abueva. He knew he had a mismatch there against the smaller Newsom.
And the hard part about it is Calvin was able to get that ball too deep. He was able to get down too deep. Well,
the help was actually coming, but a little bit too late.
Well, Newsom felt that there was no foul there.
There we have former Northport coach / team manager, Bonitan, who is now a consultant here. Grayson looking for space. Whips a pass. That's going to stay here with the Bolts, though.
You know what I like about the offense, although they're not converting it yet? Meralco is able to execute and find the open look, either through a nice roll or even a kick out. They have open looks here. And so far, again, I was just talking about it. The passing of the Bolts has been very precise in this game.
And you can see that was really a set that they run in practice.
I mean, because they're so wide open and they're able to get those passes in. It's just that, of course, not all good passes, translates to good offense, because sometimes they would miss too.
Grayson waiting for his teammates, gets it back, launches a three. Back rims that one.
Oh, look at the bigs of Meralco. Even CJ Cancino fighting for that offensive rebound. This is going to be a big problem for Titan if they cannot control the boards.
A lot of second chance opportunities already in the first period alone. The Beast will bring it down. Off the switch. Ball still with him. And a foul will be called. You can see the Beast trying to take matters into his own hands right now.
No, stat-wise, in the first quarter, it was actually the other way around, contrary to what I have seen. It was Titan who was even ahead in terms of like the rebounds. Total rebounds is 11 for Meralco in the first quarter. You got 9. But when you look at the offensive rebounds, 3 against 6, 6 being Titan in terms of offensive rebounds. So those extra possessions definitely help.
First free throw. A miss here for the Beast. Makes up with it on the second to cut that lead down to 3. Grayson's got 4-point range, but he has yet to hit from deep. Here's Banquero. Stops, pops, and will misfire. Wild save. And that ball is going back to Titan Ultra.
Banquero had a nice open look there, except that he was not able to finish it.
Look at Grayson hounding Malesio there. CJ Cancino is going to be called for a foul there, which actually got almost everybody from the Bolts bench up on their feet. They go back to that matchup. Boy, the Beast is trying to take the youngster to school.
But the thing is, he's getting into his head. That's how the Beast would play. When you stick your hand like that. Sometimes that rip-through rule also.
The Beast now with 10 points here. 3 out of 6 from the field.
Normally, there's always going to be, that would be the tendency. If you see the defender trying to stick the arm in front of you, you will try to pull off that trick, trying to go to the free throw line, that rip-through rule as they call it. So it all depends on the angle of the referee if he calls it a violation or not.
30-29 is our tally here in the second period. Bong Quinto had an exceptional first quarter, and he has yet to see action once again for his squad here.
Oh, beautiful
pass!
Beautiful pass there by Monzon.
He spun before he actually made that pass. It'll be nice if we can see that again. Watch this here. Just caught the tail end of it, and
Right there.
there it is.
That's pinpoint accuracy right there. And that's very difficult to make because you're on the top of the key. He bounced it off the floor, and you have a guy trying to catch a pass off that move.
So Coach Nenet's going to get a warning. Lucky roll there for the Beast. He thought he was going to have to split his free throws once again.
Once you allow Calvin to get into the, his antics of trying to get into your head, that's the time he'll be most effective because he'll play mind games with you.
Racing out the controls, finds Hodge. Let's see what Cancino can do offensively here.
Look at the hustle there.
Here those two. Cancino will miss. Ball's going to stay here in this end, though. About to reach a 7-minute mark here. And here comes Bong Quinto. And the Bolts will want to talk things over here as they have yielded the lead to Titan Ultra.
Galaw, solid ang pas, malakas ang hiyawan. Ang action ay walang hinto. Sa solid na laro, solid ang lawan, malupit ang galaw. Galaw.
Welcome back to the United Center here in Antipolo City. So you got this battle between the Meralco Bolts and the Titan Ultra Giant Risers. The Giant Risers making their debut here this Wednesday afternoon.
Well, they're a pretty good team. You've seen the way they are competing right now, despite the size of the Bolts.
Cancino with the inbound, looking for Banquero. Banquero hit the deck there. There's a slick portion on that left side of the floor. Inside, nothing there for the sophomore. Quinto will put up a three. That's his first miss from three-point distance. The Beast will bring it to his more comfortable area, inside that shaded area. Nothing that time, and Abueva comes up empty. Foul's going to be called there on Joshua Munzo.
Calvin was really smothered under the basket. He was able to get really close to the basket. Unfortunately, he got three guys rotating on him. and trying to challenge his shot, and he just got stuffed there.
Vaquero gets it to Bates. Bates a little bit too strong. Gets it back, gets denied there by Ambohot. Balanza in for the first time. Let's see if his outside sniping can help his squad. And again, they go back to the beast. The pass, straight to CJ though. Excellent pass. That's a nice block there by Monzon.
What a swat there. Oh, nice Hesse move. Oh, beautiful move. Oh, except for the shot. Balanza had a nice move already, except Ambohot was not able to finish.
Helter-skelter basketball is what we're witnessing here. Ular. Three-point play off that late foul coming in from Bong Quinto.
Great composure there. Not really a good foul there on the part of Bong Quinto.
He tried to make it difficult here. There was really a clip there in the arm. And finishing is Ular.
He was able to have good control despite the hit.
But what he forgot, there's a miss there from Ular. He forgot that Ato is actually a left-hander. He made contact with the right arm.
The right arm.
33-30. Biggest lead in the ball game here for Titan Ultra.
Nice move. You know, all that quickness there. Just driving into the lane.
Balanza gets it to Monzon. Back to Balanza. Falling away, no. And the foul's going to be called on Ambohot.
He shoved Brandon Bates there out of the way.
We got a great one here on our second day of competition for the Philippine Cup. Actually, if you look at it, all these teams have beefed up.
Oh yes, that's a nice part about it. That's what makes, you know, each conference, most especially a new conference, really exciting, because you see a lot of new faces here, and each team is trying to make an impression early.
Kuhn is back. Lots of moves for Kuhn. Forces up that one. Nothing. CJ up against Balanza. That pass a little too low. But Bates recovers and scores! Wow, what composure there from the big man.
You know, despite the many times that he's been blocked there under the basket, he's been shoved, he still continues to pursue. And that's what you get when you just have to be continuously battling out there.
Balanza finally gets on the board. The lead right back to Titan Ultra. Seesaw affair we got right here. Banquero hands it off. Again, quick passing.
Quick passing, yes. I think that's the kind of mindset that Coach Nenad and even Coach Luigi wants in this team. They're getting a lot of those open looks because of those quick passing, and they're very precise. But you got to give it to Titan because they continuously battle here, despite the the open looks of Meralco, and they're not really hitting each and every open look. You know, at least Titan Ultra is able to compete here.
Brandon Bates now on the line for 2 shots. A little bit too strong in the first.
Got to polish up on those free throws.
Now let's take a look at Mario Barasi Jr.
6'7" guy from College of Adamson. Birthplace is in Cagayan. Very young 25-year-old. The kids are getting bigger and bigger, Anthony.
Yes, they are. Bates converts on the second. That split will tie things up here at 35. Quezon left wide open for this one. Another nice tap there by Barasi. Doon asking for it, he was wide open. Balanza will misfire.
Look at the
Barasi
Barasi. Look at the way he fights for that ball. You see the willingness to mix it up under the basket for a big guy. And I like the way he at least tries to really recover or fight for those loose balls.
And now a timeout will be called by Jonadel Cardell.
Solid ang laban, malupit ang galaw. Solid ang pas, malakas ang hiyawan. Ang action ay walang hinto. Sa solid na laro. Solid ang laban, malupit ang galaw. Solid ang pas, malakas ang hiyawan. Ang action ay walang hinto. Sa solid na laro.
Right now, let's take a look at the highlights of the Leo Awards. Randy Santiago there, handling the proceedings as we see some of the 50 greatest players of the PBA.
So nice to see each and every player there, you know, from the yesteryears. Players who we really look up to.
We are tied at 35, heading into the final 3 minutes of play. Both teams now in the penalty. Trying to break this tie, Bon Quinto. Already has 2 threes to his name, plus 2 free throws. That'll be his third. Back up to a 2-point lead here for the Bolts. Balanza will bring it closer. Stops, pops, and will miss. Pascual showing that he really still can be a serviceable big. Floater a little bit too strong. Gets it right back. They need to rush. They've got a brand new 14, which is now though at 6.
Oh, beautiful
Side
pass
once again.
I mean, they're getting their way under the basket. That's why you see a lot of those drop passes. Oh, look at the dive of the bigs, Anthony.
It looks like a foul is going to be called here in Barasi.
Look at those bigs there, dive for the ball. But of course, that nice passing by Meralco is just really yielding a lot of good points underneath.
Lead is now at 4, and because of that foul from Barasi, we got 2 more free throws for Meralco. It's now Almazan on the line.
Almazan hitting his first free throw.
These are the numbers of rock and roll.
Yeah, solid numbers. You know, you talk about field goals because, Raymond would always take his shots mostly in the shaded area. He has got 5 rebounds, and he's one of those guys that Meralco relies heavily when it comes to block shots.
Misfiring there in the second one. Quinto will get his squad another offensive
Wow,
rebound.
he was able to get an offensive rebound off Barasi there.
Floater, no. Easy tip in there by Raymond Almazan.
Meralco rebounding has been solid here.
And the lead is now back up to 7. One stood at the high of 11. Nice battle here. Actually, both these squads have very good offensive rebounders.
Not really sure what happened under the basket. We definitely need the replay on that because I was like looking at Chris Coon's move there.
That happened on the baseline, so we'll see that on the replay, that's for sure.
Well, there were a lot of exchanges happening in terms of trying to get hold of that ball. After Calvin took that teardrop from around 10 feet away, and there's a lot of contact there after that.
So Pascual's going to be called for a foul there. That means 2 shots coming for the Beast. Well, the Beast picks himself up as Coach Luigi trying to get confirmation of exactly what transpired.
Could be like a knee-to-knee contact. Although Calvin is just like, shaking it off.
Here's what happened. Pascual there was trying to deny the cut here of the Beast.
Could have hit the the knee of Kyle Pascual when he went backdoor.
That's going to cut the lead down to 5. Black back on the floor. Nice find. Maliksi. No. Extra possession once again. And they'll run their offense. Look at that ball movement from side to side. Steal here from Fran Yu. He'll stop, put up a 3, and hit.
What a big steal there by Fran Yu. Turning it into a 3-point shot, which he is really known to hit a lot of those.
Black tries to answer back short. Maliksi gives it up. Not gonna drop.
Raymar Jose, look at the way he hustled for that ball.
Von Pesumal back in the ball game. He hit a 4 earlier.
Look at the way Fran Yu stole that ball in anticipation. And his layup, that's what I call a 3-point layup. Why? Because it was a breakaway. It could have been an easy 2-pointer there. And yet Fran Yu, known for his 3-point shooting, can make it look so easy, hitting those 3-point shots.
That again encapsulates how the game has changed, Eric. Maliksi finally finds his range. Knocks that one down.
That is a mark of a good shooter there. He will never pass on an open shot. Alain has been getting a lot of those open looks, and yet he was missing them early. But the nice part is he never abandoned his, those shots when it was open.
So that's going to be a delay of game. And that's why Von Pesumal will head to the line for a shot. And cut that lead down here to just 4, and at the same time they're going to have possession here.
Pesumal hit his free throws there.
Almazan assessed the technical foul there. Look at the second chance points. 9-4 in favor of Meralco. Yu puts up a 4 and hits.
Wow! What a way to, set up a play and hit a 4-point shot.
It is a 4-point shot, and we are deadlocked at 45.
Fran Yu just making outside shots look so easy. that's how deadly he is.
Well, first and foremost is you cannot go under the screen if it's brand new.
Never be gun shy. Here, look at the 3-point shooting alone. He's got 40%. We were talking about Bongkito a while ago, close to hitting 50. But Fran Yu, for a guard who takes a lot of shots from the 3, 40% is actually a good mark.
One final possession here of the half, and it's going to belong to the squad of Meralco.
I mean, he just needed enough space. That was from far away, and he just made it look so easy.
The inbound is going to be from the baseline. Will it be a long throw, or is it going to be a quick inbound? And then dribble up. Now they're looking for speed here on the floor. Talking about Titan Ultra. They're not coming back to the ball. Finally they do. Chance here. Rayson.
Oh, Rayson, almost. They still were, they were still able to get a nice shot off Anthony.
That was close. But nothing there for Rayson. We are deadlocked at the half at 45 apiece.
Nagbabalik po ang PBA para sa laban ng Meralco Bolts at Giant Risers. Habang naging maganda ang simula ng Meralco Bolts, kahit papano nakalayo sila sa Giant Risers sa tulong ni Raymond Almazan, pero hindi pa rin nila completely na shake off ang Giant Risers. Kung kaya ang score natin ay tied at 45. At kung yan ang maiinit na kaganapan dito sa Inares Antipolo, balikan din natin yung mga mainit na naganap noong opening day ng PBA 50th season. Dahil sigurado akong katutuan yung balikan to. Kaya eto na.
nag-iisang never say die. Ito ang Barangay Ginebra San Miguel. Blackwater Bossing Converge Fiber Exer. Ito ang Magnolia Chicken Templados Hot Shot. Ang Meralco Bolts. Enlex Road Warrior. Phoenix Fuel Masters. Rain or Shine. Elasto Painters. Beer the Beer. Muli nang sasagupa ang San Miguel Beermen. Terra Firma Chip TNT Tropang 5G. Titan Ultra Giant Riser.
Welcome to the 50th season of the PBA. Dito sa PBA, solid tayo. Magandang gabi po.
Awitin mo at isasayaw mo.
Join na lang kayo. Let's all have a good time. Hey!
Nakasalayaw, nakasalayaw, yeah, bro. Nakasalayaw, nakasalayaw, yeah, bro.
Kapag tumibok ang puso, wala ka nang magagawa kundi sundin ito. To open my eyes on a bright morning world, Manila girl, Manila girl,
Babaero, proud ako.
Manila girl.
Babaero ka ako nga. Pinaasal na ako. Sa pagbawi ng uhaw ay may darating na araw. Salamat at tayo'y may pinagsamahan. Salamat, kaibigan, walang kapangkat.
At sa wakas, opisyal nang nagbukas ang ating ika-50 season ng
Kita niyo
PBA.
naman, ganyan ka-exciting ang 50th season ng ating PBA. At hindi lang yata ako yung na-excite dahil pati social media mukhang nayanig para dito sa 50th season ng PBA. Ayan, kitang-kita niyo naman, pati si Fran Yu, napapost na din ang kanilang team picture dahil bilang magandang ang panimula para sa kanilang koponan this season. At ayan, pati na rin ang isa sa mga naging muse na si Sue Ramirez para dito sa ating sa PBA para sa Barangay Ginebra. Kitang-kita niyo naman, stunning. Siyempre, nariyan din si Dre Tolentino kung saan nag-post siya ng Champion Circle. Missing a few Blue Eagles here. Yun ang sabi niya, mukhang naghahanap pa siya ng mga Atenista sa kanyang post. At narito naman si Ray Suerte din kung saan nag-post siya na sila daw ang represent ng University of the Visayas. Kasama niya dyan si Santi Santillan. At eto pa, napaka-pretty talaga ng mga dumalo sa ating opening day. Nariyan din ang ating Chicken Templados muse and looking lovely in her yellow dress. At kung ganyan ka-exciting ang mga naganap nung araw na yon, ngayon ako ang courtside nyo para sa excitement dito sa Inares Antipolo. Pero tingnan nyo naman, siguradong matutuwa kayo kung sino ang nag-courtside duty nung nakaraang media day ng PBA. Eto at kilalanin nyo siya.
Ay, Dino! Kumusta? Okay, too long.
Hey guys, Brandon Bates here, back for courtside duties because I've been relegated to this. They dumped me from the team, so now I'm just here for media day. You'll notice that I'm wearing something new. The team has new jerseys. Me, I'm just around, but sort of OKC inspired. So come with me. Let's go take a look around, talk to some of my teammates and see how they're faring. Hey, this is my boy AB, huh? How are you? How was the off-season treating you?
Beautiful, beautiful. It's nice to be interviewed by you. Yeah.
Yeah. This is I told them, this is my new duty. I've been dropped from the team. I'm just doing this.
Oh, okay.
From now on.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we don't have to say anything.
No.
One more question for Brandon Bates. Can you speak some Tagalog, please? Tagalog na lang kami, ha? Tagalog na lang. Tagalog, please. Can I swear? Hindi na pala po. Pasensya na po, matagal na siya dito pero hindi pa rin makapag-Tagalog.
Walang pera ako.
Alright, thank you, AB. Thank you. Gotcha.
Well, can I interview you or are you too busy doing this?
Tagalog.
Okay. Oh, never mind, we move on. Okay, Kurt, English ka ba? Tagalog? We're very limited here, all right? Cliff, I can talk to Cliff. Cliff, can I talk to you? Is that okay? He's a little bit mad, I think, because we had a practice right before this, and I think they hit him in the face, so I'm sorry, man. No, I'm kidding. How was the off-season for you, Cliff?
Off season was long. 2 months off, which was very refreshing. But yes, it's about to be back. We're ready to go.
Yep. What do you think of the rebrand?
It's nice. I've been asking for a black jersey for about 15 years, and finally here. So perfect timing.
There you go, straight from the mouth of the punch. It's beautiful. Let's get it. Let's get it. TJ, what was the best thing you did during the off-season?
Going to the pitch.
I thought you were going to say golf or something. Because you've been...
Bali.
Oh!
Pitch is the best.
Because he's been playing golf a lot. That's why he's got such a strong ball right now. If he takes that shirt off, with the bang. All right. Hey, guys. Oh, okay. So I've just been promoted back to the team, guys. So that's my duties as courtside reporter done and dusted for you. But But thank you so much for having me. I hope you enjoyed Media Day. Please come out and support the Meralco Bolts for the PBA 50th season. Thanks, guys.
Malakas ang hiyawan, action ay walang hinto. Sa solid na laro, solid ang laban, malupit ang galaw. Solid ang pas, malakas ang hiyawan, ang action ay walang hinto. Sa solid na laro, solid na laro, solid na laro, solid na laro. Palaban mga manlalaro. Napaka-solid na laro. Solid ang laban, malupit ang galawan. Solid ang fans, malakas ang hiyawan. Ang action ay walang hinto. Sa solid na laro. Solid ang laban, malupit ang galaw. Solid ang fans, malakas ang hiyawan. Ang action ay walang hinto. Sa solid na laro. Solid ang laban, malupit ang galaw. Solid ang fans, malakas ang hiyawan. Ang action ay walang hinto. Sa solid na laro. Solid na laro. Solid na laro. Solid na laro. Palaban mga manlalaro. Solid ang laban, malupit ang galaw. Solid ang pas, malakas ang hiyawan. Ang action ay walang hinto. Sa solid na laro. Solid ang laban, malupit ang galaw. Solid ang pas, malakas ang hiyawan. Ang action ay walang hinto. Sa solid na laro. Solid na laro. Solid na laro. Solid na laro. Palaban mga manlalaro. Napaka-solid na laro. Solid ang laban, malupit ang galawan. Solid ang fans, malakas ang hiyawan. Ang action ay walang hinto. Sa solid na laro.
Our score at the halftime, we find Meralco and Titan Ultra deadlocked at 45 apiece. Once again, we'd like to welcome you back here inside the Inares Center in Antipolo, and both teams actually had their share of the lead. Both had their flashes of brilliance, But in the end, it's back to square one here, Eric.
Yes, and the nice part is, as you said, Anthony, a lot of good things happened for both sides. And yes, they did give up some of the things that what the other team really took advantage of.
Right now, let's take a look at the halftime numbers. And of course, we're also going to be showing you some of the leading scores from both these squads. But, once again, the veterans really just showed the way here, which is actually expected from these veteran stars.
Yeah, usually you see a lot of the younger guys really perform. But of course, when you look at the halftime summary, it's 12 to 9 in terms of assists, which Meralco was really able to show us a lot of good passing. In the second chance points, you got 9 to 4 because Meralco was really getting a lot of those offensive rebounds. Now, when it came to turnovers, it's 12 to 7 in favor of Titan Ultra because they only had 7, and yet they were able to take advantage of all these miscues by Meralco that led to 50 turnover points.
Well, that's really the style here of Titan Ultra, which used to be the Northport franchise in previous years. As we take a look at the leading scorers, Almazander with 12 points, Quinto with 10. On the other side, Titan Ultra led by the 15 points of the veteran, Alvin Abueva. Brand new had 7, including that last second 4-point shot. Kate Flores and Atorlar with 6 apiece. And on the other side, you see Brandon Bates not just getting a lot of offensive rebounds, but also contributed 5 points.
Yes, and that's solid. I mean, of course, when you look at the way guys turn defense into offense, a lot of the points coming off these guys, was really a result of hard work from the defensive end.
Look at this. Brand new. These 7 points, both from long distance. 1-3 and 1-4.
I mean, if Meralco can just really take care of the ball and still establish themselves in the shaded area, then that's going to be good. Of course, guys like Ato-Olar, who really have been pretty solid for Titan Ultra, they just have to continue battling in the shaded area and at the same time maintain that kind of defensive pressure in order to be able to get more turnovers and at least take advantage of all the miscues of the Bolts.
There's Abueva with a terrific night offensively already, and still 2 quarters to be played.
That's the leadership of Calvin Abueva and of course Joshua Monzon. That block that he did, Anthony, off the glass. I mean, that was a lot. There was a lot of intensity there that can really rub off, especially to the younger guys of Titan Ultra.
Both squads essentially starting out with the same 5s, except for Fran Yu. Inside, the Beast will get the roll.
We were just talking about the turnover by Meralco. They started things out on a bad note after another turnover after execution.
Here's Hodge. Will go to the wing. Open 3. Quinto is now at 50%. He'll get this though. He was wary of the shot blocking ability of the Beast there. 2-point lead enjoyed by Titan Ultra. Kera comes out to get it. Will stop and misfire from the wing. It goes to Monzon. Pretty good transition defense shown here by the boys in black and blue. The Beast for 3. Just short. He was feeling it. That was a heat check more than anything else.
He's been getting a lot of shots, and that's something that a veteran would really do. But of course, Quinto just making it look so easy there of a transition play.
Ties things up. Ular with a jumper, yes.
I thought it was off balance there, Anthony, and yet he was able to establish or gather himself up for a decent perimeter J.
They find Hodge. Hodge, a little bit too strong. Brand new asks for it, gets it. He puts up a hurry 3. Well, you got to take the good with the bad sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, he had 2 already in the first half. Actually, 1 was even a 4.
Quinto will back it up against Ular. Will go inside, and Ato will be called for the foul there.
You're looking at two players who could be power forwards. And yet the advantage of Bong was he is able to play, multiple positions. In this case, a two-guard that's putting the ball on the floor and using or at least exposing the lateral capability of Atolar.
Quinto will get the roll on the second. And we are deadlocked once again at 49. Make that 50-49 after that free throw. The Beast forces the issue and scores once again. He's got 19 markers.
Calvin has really been dominating in terms of scoring. Never gun shy. He would continue to take a lot of shots.
That's good defense, and still CJ Cancino sticks with it and puts it through. Inside, Ambot. Out of contact there, but it seems like they're trying to make sure that they really get Gio involved in the offense.
Yeah, he needs to also contribute there, Anthony. I mean, you see a lot of points, and even in the halftime stat line, you see Calvin, score 15 points, and yet the next guy is still in single digits. You want you want each and every player to have that kind of contribution early, and not just rely on your veteran in Calvin to really provide the firepower.
Ambot short on that second. All square once again. Banquero gets it back. Gets it to the heart of the defense and scores.
Despite Banquero getting hit there, he continuously, was able to finish that shot.
The Beast delivers once again. They strike right back.
You see Chris Banquero complaining to the referees. And by the time he was able to, after he complained, you see Calvin Abueva just streaking in and making a shot. I mean, because of the speed of the game, Anthony, you cannot anymore complain to the referees if it's whether a good or bad call. Right here, Banquero was on the right of your screens. The lane was just wide open for Calvin to just go hard.
And in a blink of an eye, we are tied once again. $54 apiece. Titan Ultra with 2 team fouls. Meralco with 1. Back to trying to run their sets. Banquero come up short. Clearing it now is Abueva. And he'll bring it down himself. Puts up a 3 and hits.
Well,
this is the Calvin Abueva of old.
Well, you know what's happening right now? With Coach John there in the lineup, he's giving Calvin that freedom to be able to at least play the kind of game that he likes, most especially on the open court.
Ular for a 3 of his own. Not going to get the bounce. Munzo with the
What
steal.
a hustle there. He's giving Chris Newsom a lot of problems here.
Well, here's Newsom still with possession now. Pieces all over the place, offensively and defensively.
He's feeling it. And he's really feeling good about his contributions to the team.
1.6 remaining. They need something going towards the basket. Monzon was all over that shot there from Newsom. What a battle we have here. Titan now matching their biggest lead of the ball game at 3, and they've got possession here. The Beast once again. That's short. Oh, he's gonna get the roll though.
He's feeling it. He's feeling it. He's just look at him. He's just enjoying himself, and yet he's able to really create a lot of problems here for Meralco.
Cancino will overshoot. Brand new, stops, pops, and hits. And a timeout will have to be called here by the Bolts. They are now down by 8.
And look at the way Titan Ultra really has been hustling and playing so physical here, challenging at each and every position, most especially of those loose balls. Calvin is really having a great scoring night. He had 15 already at the half, and now everyone is just oozing with confidence and just like pulling up for those jumpers, most especially when they have it open.
62-54. It's now Titan Ultra with the lead. Just about 5 minutes has transpired here in the third period. And Titan Ultra has taken complete control of this one. Here's Coach Raymond Chonco, former head coach, also of Terra Firma. Took the place of Coach John Adele. And now both of them are conspiring here for Titan Ultra. Foul's going to be called there on you.
Blocking foul number 3, Brandon Yu. That's his first foul 3 on the Giant Risers. Shot clock at 14 seconds.
Newsom gonna get something started for his squad.
There you go.
Gets away for 2 inside.
Chris has to get going already, Anthony.
That's a smart play there by Monzon. Just making contact, putting it up, but they're not going to give him shots.
That's his second foul, 2 on the Bolts.
6.5 still to be played here in the third. They set up Ular. Easy jumper there from Monzon. Lead is back to 8. Here's Cancino trying to make his move. Finds Bates. Bates inside. A little bit too strong. Nice tip in there by Hodge.
You know, the interior passing of the balls has really been excellent all throughout this game.
They find Ular. Ular with a jumper to remount. Cancino trying to do a 2-man game here. Will stop. And that's going to drop here for CJ.
And that's a beautiful move there. At least you see CJ Cancino now and Chris Newsom playing together. And that's something that Coach Luigi would want. But again, they have to put the cuffs on Calvin. Calvin is already having a great time in terms of his offense.
Over 20 points already for the Beast. And still an entire fourth quarter to be played. Bates kicks it back out. Newsom. Shot clock winding down.
That's a good call.
Foul's going to be called on Ular.
they need to exploit that kind of mismatches from the top, because if Titan Ultra would switch off with the pick and roll, then Ato Lar would have to play, although Ato is going to the bench right now. They want to establish that kind of mismatch in terms of speed, especially with the guards of Meralco. There again, Anthony. They just couldn't convert. They just couldn't convert, but of course Almazan was called there.
Almazan still holding on to that ball, eventually gives it up. Melesio will check back in. He was a starter here today for Coach Cardell.
Well, Franny is also playing a great game, to backstop Calvin Abueva.
Here's the piece, puts it up and scores. Once again, he's on a roll.
It's going to be very hard if you allow Calvin to go to his right. He's very powerful going to his right.
There's another turnover. It's a 3-on-2 fast break. Munzon with a jumper, no. Cade Flores puts it through.
What we have seen in terms of rebounding work in the first half, it was all Meralco. But here in the third quarter, Titan Ultra has really been dominating the boards at the same time.
Almazan a little bit too strong. Flores tracks it down. And they go once again to Calvin. Trying to take matters into his own hands. The flip short.
We've seen Calvin get hit so many times here in this game.
Alexi will be called for a foul there. Chris Coon will check in as the Beast will take a breather. A well-deserved one, in fact.
Yes, he's been leading the way in terms of scoring for Titan Ultra. Now, in order for them to sustain this, you need guys coming off the bench like Chris Coon, the rookie. Of course, this is the time when Ambohot needs to contribute in terms of scoring. You cannot just allow Calvin to tear this game apart because of his scoring. He needs a lot of support.
That's probably the only way Meralco can put a stop to it when Cardell puts him on the bench.
This is going to be a true test on how deep the bench of Titan Ultra is.
Here's Monzon scoring once again. And the lead is now extended to 12. That's actually the biggest lead in the ball game for either squad. Suddenly, the offense here of the Bolts looks like it's in disarray. Munzon once again, two-man game with Contapay. Finds Coon. Coon kicks it out. Munzon. Step back three. That rims out. And a foul's going to be called here on the Bolts. That'll mean free throws here. Oh, check that. Just the 15th foul now here.
Shot clock at 14 seconds.
Here's Melesio. A brand new 14 to work with. Contapay will overshoot. Can the Bolts manufacture some offense? Rock and roll, it's got that in his bag of tricks. That will rim out though. Coon will try to push. And the foul will be called there on Chris Newsom.
Blocking foul number 11, Chris Newsom, penalty.
Not a good foul there by Newsom. Because when we come back, we're going to have Titan Ultra shooting 2 free throws.
Let's go! Sayaw mo na yan! isang budots naman dyan! Let's go! You know! Let's go, baby boy! Bounce to the music! You know! Yeah!
Solid ang laban, malupit ang galaw. Solid ang punch, malakas ang hiyaw. Ang aksyon ay walang hinto. Sa solid na laro. Solid ang laban, malupit ang galaw. Solid ang punch, malakas ang hiyaw.
The beast going wild here today. The opening game for Titan Ultra already with 31 points, 16 in the third period.
That's import-like numbers, Anthony. 31 points. I mean, he had 15 in the first half. He just went on a tear. You know, Coach John giving him all the, the freedom to be able to really operate and play the game that he has. And that's what makes Calvin very effective.
Nice smile there on the beast. Once again, the calm before the storm when he steps back onto the floor. Chris Kuhn on the line for 2 shots. His first, a little bit too strong.
Anthony, we've seen in the first half, contrasting, styles. You have Meralco getting a lot of baskets coming off their inside and the offensive rebounds. On the other hand, it's the points of turnovers that allowed Titan Ultra to at least, have a nice end to that first half. And when they were able to make use of their defense because and then forcing a lot of turnovers, that's what happened here in the third quarter because it gave a lot of confidence to Titan Ultra.
Floater will come up short. But still, 2 more free throws though for the Bolts. Trying to cut into this lead, which already is an imposing 13 points. Nice to see Maliksi back on the floor. He was out practically the entire year of season 49.
I mean, so far he's not yet as deadly as he used to be, from the last time that we've seen him. But at least it's a good sign and a good additional for Meralco to be able to activate Maliksi and get his offense so that he can make more contributions to the team.
Back to Black. Over to Almazan. He's going to lose it though. That's another turnover for Meralco.
This is what's hurting the Bulls. A lot of these turnovers.
And there's another
turnover. This is what's really hurting them.
Good Papay, catch and shoot. A little bit too strong. Here's Black. Those passes are a little bit lackadaisical. A little bit too strong that time. And Pesumal clears. They just can't buy a basket. That's clearly a kick ball. Boy, this squad formerly of Northport, now Titan Ultra, just showing everybody they're picking up from Northport left off last year.
I mean, it's really defense. I could even recall that Northport had a lot of those steals back then.
Yes, correct.
And the core of this team is mostly coming from the Northport team. So they're pretty much solid as a team. And then you have to you give them new guys like Chris Kuhn, you give them Calvin Abueva, Ato Olar also.
Ato Olar, exactly.
It makes them a solid lineup here. Even Aljun Melesio.
And they got a shooter in Von Pesumal. Pesumal now here up against Newsom. That might be an offensive foul. That was clear. That was right in front of us.
Chris
He
Newsom
carved out
also threw
space.
that ball on. I mean, Chris is showing a lot of frustration here. I mean, this is not the only time that I saw him throw the ball away from the referees, or at least leave the ball rolling on the floor. That was, if I counted it right, maybe like the second time already.
Boone tries to get away. Kuntapa is there. Pesumal will launch. That'll be a little bit too strong, but the possession will stay here. 1:03 still to be played in the third.
Titan
30-second timeout going to be called here by Titan Ultra. Boy, Coach Jonadel not leaving anything to chance. Still a lot of time to be played here in the third and the entire fourth to play, but still already using up his 30-second timeout. These are the numbers of the Bolts last season in the Philippine Cup.
Well, they averaged close to 100 points in the tournament. That was like the 5th place. But what really stands out to me here is the rebounding. That's what we've seen is the strength of the Meralco Bolts, because they were third in among 12 teams. The second chance points even better at second. And of course, that the perimeter game is something that they really have to work on, because they were 11th, close to the second to the last in last conference's statistics.
You know, Eric, you were talking about the fact that, and I agree with you, is the fact that the Bolts really have a much taller squad, but they have not been able to dominate the rebounding, especially here in the second half.
Yes, I mean, it was really seen in the stats at the half. That rebounding was really right there for the Bolts, especially the second chance points and even the points in the paint. Unfortunately, they were getting a lot of, Chris Moon is getting, his confidence in hitting more shots here.
It is now a 15-point advantage for the new squad, the Giant Risers. That's a fourth shot.
Great help, yes.
Here they come once again, the youngsters. Oh, an offensive foul is going to be called on Flores. Here's that 3-point shot just inside the 4-point line for Chris Kuhn.
Well, that's the kind of shots that he was taking with Ateneo, so that's nothing new to Chris Kuhn already.
Black trying to give his squad a semblance of control here in the final seconds. Difference of about 3 seconds on the game clock and the shot clock. Black gets away inside. It's a great pass.
Meralco really is executing well in that last play, just in time to end this third quarter action.
At least they had the final say. They were able to whittle down that lead from a high of 15. They go into the fourth and final period, trailing here as Titan Ultras got 76-63 for the Bolts. And now we've got our game summary as we take a look at the points off turnovers. Look at that.
20
Plus
to 8.
12.
That's a lot. That's what's really hurting the Bolts at this stage. They couldn't really execute well their plays.
And then the inside scoring. Points in the paint. And it's plus 12, this time in favor of Meralco.
Yes, that is really the strength of the Bolts even in the first half.
And then the explosion here of the Beast. Already with 31 points, still with an entire fourth quarter to be played.
That's what really hurt Meralco because they allowed Calvin to really explode with 16 big points in just one quarter, whereas in the first half he had 15 in the entire first half. So let's see what kind of adjustments Meralco would be doing here in the fourth.
The Beast still sitting out the start here of the final period. Here's Kuhn. A lot of time still. Cade Flores. Short though. Now trying to cut into this lead as we take a look at the quarter scoring. A tremendous 31 points as Pascual sneaks in with a 2.
This is something that, is a big improvement compared to the start of the third quarter. When Meralco started the third, they started out again with the turnover. Here, that was great execution there in their play.
And Nate Maliksi will be called for a foul there. Brand new back in the contest. And here is today's hero for the squad of Titan Ultra. Let's see if the Beast can pick up where he left off in a scintillating third period. And they look for him right away. He scores immediately. Now with 33 markers.
He's getting a lot of those baskets point blank.
Looking for the mismatch.
Although there was a foul there, Anthony, you like the way Titan Ultra has been defending that low post play. There's denial on the post, there's denial also on the pass from the top, and full pressure on the ball carrier.
Maliksi for 3. Backrooms that one.
That's what Meralco's really missing, their perimeter game. That's what they missed a lot of their perimeter shots here. And a lot of the shots are just coming off inside.
That's where Bon Quinto was able to help them out in the first period. The 2 threes from the corner. Amboakin, they look for the Beast. Looking to force the issue, and an offensive foul is going to be called here. There was a double team there. You could easily have kicked it out to Amboakin.
But now they're trying to force Calvin to take matters into his own hands. When he dips his head just to go for a power move, he can't see it anymore because it's just too deep under the basket.
Black will overshoot. Get away here. Flores puts it right there.
You got 2 freight trains, filling in the wing. Cade Flores and Monzon there.
Lead is back up to 15. That's a great defensive stop once again. Push shot not going to work there for Pascual. Brand new wants to pick up the pace. Quicken the tempo. Almost lost it, and they do. And look for Ambohot there. That's a nice find. Some contact there from Flores. That's really the pace here of the squad of the Giant Risers.
It's very hard to have Monzon there and Cade Flores going at you. 2 against 1.
Almazan finally gets some points for his squad here in the fourth. Ular is back. CJ Casino back on the floor together with Chris Hodge for Meralco. Two free throws down here for Raymond. Franny once again escapes from the defense. That's a great block there by Black. And he'll try to push. Quinto for 3. Those are the shots that were dropping earlier in the first half. Up and under move here for Aaron Black.
It's a great move there on the part of Aaron. Not just relying on an outside or a perimeter shot. He just went straight inside for an easier two.
The Beast gets denied. You see, they're double teaming him as quickly as he makes that move to the basket.
Yes, now he earns the respect of the defense. Now he attracts two guys. Calvin has to now find the open guys to be able to hit it, because when Calvin drives inside, most especially going to his left, he just dips his head and he can't see the floor anymore.
That's correct. He can be just as effective getting his teammates involved and not just scoring. Munzon inside. He was looking for the three-point play there. Still an 11-point lead here enjoyed by Titan Ultra. And two more free throws coming up here for the boys in white.
The free throws are going to be really important here, Anthony.
Look at that, most improved player in season 49 and also part of the all-defensive team. We showed you this graphic earlier, and again, you alluded to the fact that he's one of those players that takes so much pride in playing both ends of the floor.
Yes, I mean, that's you hardly find a lot of players being able to do that. Most especially on defense, piling up points in terms of steals or even blocks.
82-69 is our tally. Entering the final 8.5. Still 8 seconds on the shot clock here for the Bolts. More than enough time to manufacture a shot. CJ. Foul's going to be called there on Bates. He was impeding the progress there of Munzon as Munzon was trying to recover there defensively. That's going to be the fourth on Brandon. Boy, talk about night and day. That first quarter, it was an 11-point lead for the Bolts. And right now, they trail by 13.
Well, you got to give it to Titan Ultra for, finding ways on how to really slow down the Bolts, and that's what they did. They just played good defense and forced them to turnovers.
What will Calvin do here? We'll try to go inside once again, and that will count for the Beast. Somebody woke up on the right side of the bed. Watch it here once again. That's against one of the top defensive players we have in the league. He gets a three-point play opportunity.
Yeah, he's just feeling it. Calvin's just having a great game here. 35 points already.
He completes that three-point play. And this is now the biggest lead at 16 points.
What a big turnaround, Anthony.
He took the words right out of my mouth. Cancino inside.
So Calvin
looks to try to answer back. That's quick hands there from Cliff.
If they can just read Calvin and try to force him to go left, then maybe they would have a better chance of trying to limit him at this stage.
Our next game is going to prove to be a dandy. We got the San Miguel Beermen, the defending champions, up against the NLEX Road Warriors. a team that is already actually quite solid, and they also have some new additions of their own.
Well, a lot of these teams really try to beef up during the off-season, most especially those teams that didn't really do too well. So that's the only way up. I mean, you have to continuously find talent, you have to continuously refine or improve your system.
Roy-Suma making his first entry in the ball game. Under 8 minutes to be played here. So far, it's been a terrific debut game here for Titan Ultra. Just short, but 2 free throws coming up here for Joshua Monzon. That was a set play once again.
Well, you're having Monzon and Calvin Abueva. You know, it's a terrible duo to play against because both guys are just relentless. They continuously put pressure on that defense because they will try to penetrate. They will try to engineer or find their kinds of shots. In this game, you have both of them also providing good contributions to Titan Ultra.
Second will drop. Once again, re-establishing another 16-point lead here. Cancino once again in the heart of the defense, but it will overshoot. Boy, another rebound here. That was an ill-advised pass coming from the Beast, and he knew it.
So that's the usual, you know, Calvin can sometimes go out of control too because it's just so much energy. And defensively, that's the kind of game that you want Calvin to do, to go out of control and not really be able to make that right decision when the situation arises.
Suma will be called for a foul there.
14 seconds to shoot.
Banquero, no. As you have said, the long bombs have not been able to detonate here for Meralco.
That's what they're missing. Yeah, that's what they're missing because the only option. Oh my! There's really no stopping Calvin Abueva. He's just having a great scoring night.
He's working on a 40-piece here. A timeout will once again be called by the Bulls as we take a look at Calvin Abueva, scorching hot.
That's the way. I mean, if you're really feeling it, you just have to keep on taking it.
He can't believe it. The fans are loving it. And right now it's Titan Ultra up 90-71. And these are the 3 additions to Titan Ultra. Roy Sumang, James Martinez, and RV Bringas. Look at this. 34 years old, 38 years old for James, and RV at 35 years old. When he actually plays, he's going to be the oldest, well actually technically the second oldest rookie to play here in the league. The first being Manny Pacquiao.
Manny Pacquiao.
Once again, the active hands of Monzon.
9 seconds on the shot clock, 9 seconds to shoot.
(90-71), 6.5 to be played. Newsom with a jumper. That was in and out. So was that one, but eventually Cliff Hodge delivers.
Cliff Hodge.
It's Calvin once again going to work. There's that quick double. Ambon for three. No. Boy, Ular missed a chippy. That's not a good foul.
But this is what you don't want. If you were Titan Ultra, this is what you don't want to happen. You want to be under control with the tempo of your game. You want to execute if you need it. You want to run when it's there. But if you're going to be committing fouls like this, and it's going to give, or it's going to send Meralco to the line, it's scary because they can start getting back their confidence and their groove. Right there, Anthony. That's a quick 4-point play and a possible 5-point play to boot if ever Bates hits this free throw.
And now, taking advantage of the height that you said that they have, it's quite surprising they weren't able to try to do that much earlier. Kate Flores will come in a little bit more physical. Bates converts in the free throw.
It's a 5-point swing there, Anthony.
And don't look now, but the lead has been cut down to 12 as we enter the final 6 minutes.
This is still a long way.
Overshooting there, Kate Flores with the offensive rebound. Hands it off, the Beast, a little bit too strong as well. And here's Meralco, and a further cut into this lead. Still trying to be as patient as they possibly can.
2 free throws again.
That's going to cut the lead down to 10 with these 2 possible made free throws.
Titan Ultra already in penalty with still 5 minutes left, or 5 minutes and a half.
What a big rally being put together here by the Bolts. Not giving up despite the fact that they were at one point in time here in the 4th down by 19. Aliana there on your screens. Girlfriend of CJ. Cancina now with 14 points, 7 boards.
Oh, look now, they're only down 10, Anthony.
Brand new back. The Beast back to Fran New. Look at the patience shown here.
The hard part there is you allow Calvin Abueva to get closer and closer to the basket, trying to back down that defense. If you were defending Calvin, you gotta stay in front and don't allow him to be too deep.
That's going to be an offensive foul. That was clear. Actually, Fran Yu didn't have to make contact anymore.
Well, Coach John, I think coaches are trying to see if they can they want to call for a review there.
Well, if they feel that strongly about it, why not? But again, it makes you wonder, why did Fran Yu even have to make contact?
Yeah, because it was, his teammate already had good momentum and the lane was wide open.
Worst case scenario, Munzon gets hit, it's a 3-point play for your squad. That was clear. Well, at least by our naked eye. Well, let's see what the referees see, because they are going to be able to look at this from multiple angles.
And plus, it's going to be a crucial call, Anthony, because, of course, on the part of Titan, you need to get a basket at this stage because Meralco is really slowly chopping up down that lead.
Well, they're going to say there. Well, Fran is saying there wasn't really too much of a nudge. But again, look at him trying to go in there and trying to make some contact. There might have been a little bit of acting there as well on the part of CJ Cancino. Let's see what the referees say.
I mean, the best thing to do is to really just run that floor well on both sides. But let's see.
And now we're actually going to hear from one of our referees as they make the proper explanation to the call. This will be nice. As we turn things over now to the floor.
Upon review, there is an offensive foul on Franju. The call is affirmed. The challenge made by Titan Ultra is not successful.
That was clear, but I guess they felt that there was enough contact there. And again, as I said before, the explanation there from the referee, it does make you wonder, why did Franju even have to come into contact?
I mean, you can just like run the floor well, at least just fill in the lanes. But then, you know, it happens. So let's see, play goes on now.
Cancino for three, yes!
Andre, that's what you cannot afford when you play the Bolts. They're a veteran team already. You know, Titan Ultra has to continue with the kind of play that gave them the big size lead here.
And they go back to the veteran. A little bit too strong. And here comes Newsom. Banquero.
Meralco is back in the game. And we were talking about that, Anthony, because for a while there, Titan Ultra, you know, gave up a lot of those easy baskets and those free throws.
It's a quick 5-point swing. And the Bolts are right back in this one. Just down by 7.
You gotta avoid giving a good team those opportunities to get back in the game. To get his game going, so he hit a 4. If that 3 went in, that could have been like a heat check or a big morale booster for him too.
Banquero inside. Wow, that rims out. And we're going the other way. Balanza hit the deck. Let's see what the referee saw. There were just so many bodies inside that shaded area.
That's sorry miss there on the part of Chris Banquero. It was wide open, but it still spun out.
A little bit of foul here. That's going to mean 2 free throws on the other end. We just got to check with the aggrieved party.
He tried to get it off because of a big guy challenging his shot.
And there was the hold on Cliff Hodge.
Penalty. That's a second foul.
So clearly a foul on Cliff. And you've got the dead shot Balanza on the line. Let's see if he can live up to the pressure though. Only makes the first.
30-second timeout, Meralco Bolts.
And the Bolts will use their 30-second timeout here in between free throws. So not wanting to advance the basketball by using the 30-second timeout right now.
Well, you know, when you have, if they make the free throw, they'll be down 7. They probably need to spread the floor and go for a 3 or a 4-point shot.
But if you allow them to take the free throw, and they do make the free throw, and you call your 30-second timeout, you can advance the ball here and save some precious seconds.
So sometimes it really depends on what they really want to achieve with 30 seconds or 29.7 left. Either way, I mean, they have a nice set that they really need to do. But you have a point there also, because at least you don't start on the backcourt, maybe lose a few seconds there rather than starting here at the half court.
Well, first and foremost, the second free throw here for Balanza. Cancino races down court. Will they look for the 4? Maliksi puts it up. The tap goes out. Cancino looking for a 4 of his own. Yes!
Right there. As planned, that's 95 to 98. Only down 3.
And now they're going to test the mettle of the rookie. They foul Chris Kuhn.
Foul on number 71, CJ Cancino, penalty. It's his 5th foul.
Kuhn missed earlier. He had a split from the line.
It's short.
His first is another one. It's a miss.
He was also struggling earlier on. Titans still has 1 timeout left. On the other hand, Meralco has none. Oh, missed both. Oh, look at all these players diving to the floor. Oh, that was a smart move on the part of Cade Flores.
It is a dangerous pass, but nonetheless, it got to Munzon.
Well, he saw Munzon here at the half court around that area, and he wanted to give it out. But yes, Anthony, I agree with you earlier.
Look at the hustle here of the beast. He was straddling
able to get
the
that
sideline there. Found Cade Flores, and Cade Flores wanted to have nothing to do with that basketball.
Well, he was also worried because he was, in that corner. Could have been trapped also by Chris Newsom. That's why he wanted to give it up.
So still a 1-possession ball game. Remember, we do have a 4-point line here. So a split here still keeps it at a 1-point affair. Munzon now trying to put the finishing touches to a win here for Titan Ultra. The lead is 4.
You gotta make the last shot. And you can see the coaching staff here of Titan Ultra. They wanted to just give them a foul there, probably just to take free throws. But this is it, Anthony. It's a 5-point game.
That
was
actually is a
scary.
very good foul.
That was scary too, because if Meralco took a 4-point shot there.
Well, they fouled Cancino
Well,
on the
still,
pass.
I mean, even if you go make 4, you're still up by 1 point.
But you don't want to foul because what if he threw that ball up
Well, yes,
and he made it from 4?
That's also another option here. 1.7.
So expect Cancino to miss this one.
He may have to miss it, but then from 1.7 to get a 4-point shot. This is close to impossible in my opinion, Anthony. Because to be able to get a 4-point shot, you have to move it all the way out. Let's see. Let's see.
They made it close.
They almost made me look bad, Anthony.
They made it so close by the skin of their teeth. But in the end, Titan Ultra wins their debut game as we take a look at the best player of the ball game. None other than Calvin, the Beast Abueva, with a new career high of 41 points.
What a day or what a night for Calvin Abueva to have a nice career high, transferring to Titan Ultra and being the leader in today's game. He showed everyone, most especially the younger guys, how to do it, how to get it done against a top team like Meralco.
The Beast says, I am back, and I'm going to try to lead my squad to the playoffs. We're going to hear from the Beast when we come back, as Titan Ultra takes this one by 4, 100-96. When we come back, we're going to bring it to the press room, but first,
Nagbabalik
we'll
po
go to
ang
Naj.
PBA at here with me is our best player of the game, Calvin Abueva, with 41.7 rebounds, 14 out of 27 field goals. Calvin, congratulations muna on your new career high, 41 points. Tapos maliban pa sa effort mo just to get the ball, napansin namin, aura mo pa lang in your presence alone, enough na para mag-hesitate yung Meralco Bolts. Saan nanggaling tong kumpiyansa na to with your new team?
Siyempre, una-una, nagpapasalamat ako kay God. And siyempre, sa family ko, sa mga anak ko, sa sumusuporta sa akin, wife ko, at yung mga lola ko, mama ko, and taga Angeles, mga taga Daú, Balibago, and siyempre, taga 2nd Street, sila Len Melo, Jersey, mga taga-tropa, PBC. Yan, siyempre, yung energy, siyempre, dun sa, Boss Danny, siyempre, hindi mo makakalimutan yan. Yung energy, siyempre, galing sa mga teammate ko rin. Kung wala sila, wala ako dito. Hindi ako makaka-score kung wala sila. And yung tiwala nila sa akin, binigay nila. And yun nga, 37 years old, 41 points, batang-bata.
Calvin, yun nga, nabanggit mo yung effort ng team nyo. So, pinakita nyo na kahit na bago pa lang kayong team, hindi kayo basta-basta. Anong masasabi mo based sa performance nyo tungkol sa pinakita nyo?
Actually, itong team, bago eh. And ilan lang yung veterano sa amin. Eh, syempre sa amin, ginagawa lang namin yung part namin para makakontribute dito sa game. And yung nga, yung depensa, unang-una, 100% binibigay namin yung depensa para yung opensa namin mas maganda.
Calvin, baka may mga gusto kang batian, please go ahead.
Oo, syempre, yung mga taga-Balibago nga, yan nga, mga tropa dyan. And mga bikers, yan, mga tropa dito. Sa mga fans namin ng Titan, thank you! Salamat! Yun. Boss Danny!
Maraming salamat, Calvin Abueva. Congratulations, Titan Ultra Giant Risers. At manatiling nakatutok, magbabalik po ang PBA.
Palaban mga manlalaro. Napakasolid na laro. Solid ang laban, malupit ang galawan. Solid ang fans, malakas ang hiyawan. Ang aksyon ay walang hinto. Sa solid na laro. Solid ang laban, malupit ang galawan. Solid ang fans,
Solid ang fans, malakas ang hiyawan. Ang action ay walang hinto. Sa solid na laro. 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 Palaban mga manlalaro. Sa solid na laro. Napaka-solid na laro. Solid ang laban, malupit ang galawan. Solid ang fans, malakas ang hiyawan. Ang action ay walang hinto. Sa solid na laro. Solid ang laban, malupit ang galawan. Solid ang fans, malakas ang hiyawan. Ang action ay walang hinto. Sa solid na laro.
Rise to power here. The matchup between Meralco and Titan Ultra, as the Giant Risers had a fantastic debut here in Season 50.
Yes, they did a great job, and they did it the hard way against a tough team, the Meralco Bolts. The best part about it, Anthony, is even if they were really manhandled off the boards, they were able to still get even and find a way to contribute or to get a lot of those easy baskets coming off the turnovers of the Bolts.
In just a bit, we're going to show you the highlights of this game, which actually both squads had significant leads. An 11-point lead for Meralco in the first half, and then a 19-point lead for the squad of Titan Ultra in the second half. As late as the fourth period, but still, it became a one-possession affair.
Yes, everything really would boil down to how good Calvin Abueva played, and that's something that Calvin really did very well. But aside from that, he had a lot of support coming off his teammates, not only offensively, but more importantly is really the defense and how they were able to really get a lot of those easy baskets.
Your report card on some of the new youngsters that played, guys like Chris Kuhn.
Well, Chris Kuhn still, I feel that he still has a lot of the upside, knowing that he came from a very good system in Ateneo, and at the same time, he's got good size to be able to really contribute. He hit a couple of shots also in this game. But then, in a game like this where Calvin literally took over the game because he had really a great scoring night, he would really have to wait for the next few games. But again, there's really a lot of promise on the part of Chris Kuhn, for this Titan Ultra team.
Well, our best player, you mentioned him, Calvin Abueva. Did you expect him to have this kind of an impact in his very first game here for his new squad?
I felt that Calvin can still play and can still score a lot. But then I never expected that he will be able to go off for 40 points in his very first game in a different team. The nice part about it is, at least here, he was able to really play the kind of game that he wants, more of an open court type of player. And then he was really able, he was not really restricted to a system where he cannot really shine. So that's something good about Calvin and, of course, Coach John Cardell.
That's an exceptional point. As you said, he needs to be able to be himself, and Coach John Cardell giving him that freedom. As we now take a look at the highlights here, as we mentioned, Bong Quinto got his squad off to a very good start, hitting 2 threes. That was the first one a while ago.
Well, Meralco did a very good job here. They were really able to execute a lot. But again, these guys like Kate Flores really provided that muscle under the basket.
And then Juan Pesomal doing what he does best, hitting a 4 there.
I think Bon will really have a good opportunity here to be able to showcase his talent here with Coach John.
And they're expecting a whole lot more for him to open up the floor. Chris Newsom will score there. He would come off the bench here for his squad here to begin the 50th season as we go to the second period. And here, Ato Olar would showcase what he can do as well.
Well, the key right here is really just to, force Meralco into a lot of the turnovers, knowing that the Bolts had an advantage over their size, and yet this Titan Ultra team really was so scrappy. And I would still give credit to Calvin and to Monzon for providing that inspiration to their teammates to be scrappy as well. And that's what they were able to do and get a lot of those easy baskets after that.
Maliksi here, letting everybody know that he's back, he's healthy. It's that three-point shot, but the turnovers really did them in. But as we take a look at Franyu, look at this. He saw the defender going under the screen, took that forward, and drained it.
Yes, I mean the guards here of Titan Ultra really did a good job. Franyu, of course, Aljun Melesio, also quarterback for the team. Sometimes you need someone to at least orchestrate and put order into the kind of offense that they do.
We were all squared at 45 after 2 periods in the third period. This belonged to the Beast.
Well, Gavin just literally took a lot of shots outside. In fact, some of them, like the first opportunity that you take, he was really making each and everything of them. So he really got into a nice groove, a nice rhythm, most especially when he was aggressive to the basket.
Gets another basket there. But here is where you see the mettle of Chris Kuhn. Not scared to take shots early in his career. Drains that long three. And then rock and roll with a basket there inside to bring his squad closer, but still it was Titan Ultra up by 13 heading into the fourth. And then Calvin continued to scorch.
I mean, if Calvin will be able to continue this onslaught, Anthony, he would really be a tough player to defend against because he has that in and out capability.
He was shocked at his performance, but not his fans. They're glad he's back. Look at this, Newsom hitting a big 4, and then all of a sudden, the outcome was suddenly in doubt.
I feel that the lane still has a lot of outside artillery left in him, and they could be given a chance in the next few games.
Look at the hustle here. Keeping that ball alive. They get it to Flores. Flores kicks it back out. And Monzon will be fouled. He calmly made both free throws. And that eventually was ball game.
This was a close call here. But then, the time was really running down. Not enough time already for the Bolts.
They would have had to look at that one in the replay to see if it counted. But that is our final score. Titan Ultra wins their debut game by 4. Coming up next, it's San Miguel up against NLEX. That's going to do it here for our first game coverage. On behalf of my partner, Eric Reyes, Anthony Sly saying thanks for joining us, everybody. Till next time, take care. Have a good night ahead. God bless.